Welcome to Giant Ability TV.
Nigerians are determined more than ever before in the history of the country for a zero tolerance against their leaders, especially the president, with a questionable character and who lacks integrity. Since the country gained our independence in 1960, looking into the history of all who have led the country both as president and prime minister from then to now, names can be mentioned if needed, beginning from the ceremonial president, late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and Tafawa Balewa, the first and the only prime minister, and to the most unpopular president of the country in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is the first and the only one who is most controversial for reasons of lack of honesty and integrity. No president of Nigeria has ever been with an unknown and traceable state of origin, real birth names and dates, primary or secondary school attended, controversial university attended, issues with having a dual citizenship, as well as being an ex-convict in relations to drug matters in the United States of America. It is important also to note that as much as one cannot categorically say that all the elections conducted in the country since 1999 have been 100% perfect, it is without any doubt that the most fraudulent election in the country was the February and March 2023 presidential elections. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has just come out after about 4 months since the elections had been concluded, despite all the agitations and tensions that trailed both the conduct and outcomes of the elections, to make a statement and promise to carry out a review of the elections. He probably waited to have the final reports of the European Union elections monitoring observers, which corroborated the earlier reports of the Nigerian Civil Society Organization and the IAGA Africa, before coming out to make a statement. It is important to note, with great disappointment, that as much as he tried to give credit to the INEC, which he chairs, even against the beliefs of Nigerians, he was unable to say categorically that the elections conducted by INEC had outcomes that represent the will of Nigerians, especially with regards to the president that he and INEC imposed on the people.
Above all, despite the divergent opinions about the outcome of the election, the overall outlook suggests that it is a fair reflection of a complex multi-party democracy. We wish to remind Nigerians that elections were held for a total of 1,491 constituencies, made up of 1 presidential, 28 governorship, 109 senatorial, 360 federal constituencies, and 993 state assembly seats. Our record shows that these elections have produced the most diverse outcomes ever produced since 1999.
As a matter of fact, if Nigeria were to be a country where there is justice and equity, Professor Mahmood Yakubu should be in jail by now for the bad conduct of the elections that produced a president who lacks legitimacy. And for the first time in history of the country Nigeria, one thing that cannot be controverted is that even though the aggrieved parties are in court right now, if Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the INEC chairman, had performed his responsibilities well before the conduct of the elections, it would have saved Nigerians and the judiciary the rigor and the agony they are going through right now in trying to unravel the mystery surrounding the imposition on Nigerians a president with 4 sworn affidavits in respect to his educational qualifications, citizenship, criminal involvement, and place and date of birth. What Nigerians can deduce from what is on ground and playing out right now at the Election Petition Tribunal is that INEC did not scrutinize all the documents presented to it by the prospective candidates before clearing them to run for elected positions. These actions can be described as nothing other than disservice and negligence, as well as the betrayal of the confidence reposed in it by Nigerians.
It's surprising that the same documents, which are result sheets at various levels that were issued by INEC, now certified by INEC, and INEC turns around to object, in other words, to doubt those documents. If they are now casting aspersion, casting doubt, even on the documents, then it raises the question of integrity.
Furthermore, the implications of allowing a president with shady and unclear character, as well as a vice president who has been and is still a sponsor of the Boko Haram terrorists, include painting the country to the entire world as a lawless country that sees immoral and criminal acts as an acceptable way of life, paving the way for criminals such as bandits and terrorists, as well as drug barons, to occupy positions of leadership in the country, and making the country Nigeria to become a laughingstock among the Committee of Nations. These, by extension, are acts of commission that create a bad image for Nigerians, making citizens of other countries to treat them as criminals. It is also capable of affecting the inflow of investment opportunities into the country, and finally it is building the country Nigeria on a shaky foundation for the younger generation as well as the generations yet unborn. Let this note of warning be sounded to Nigerians who are seeking political appointment from the current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be very careful and thoughtful. Anyone who has a head of butter is advised not to come near the oven. People should not, because of the pleasure and satisfaction of today, eat their today and throw away their tomorrow. The company you keep determines what accompanies you in life, and history does not die. Nigerians who have integrity and the fear of God should and are advised not to romance or have anything serious to do with this administration. Whether you like it or not, this government has not come to stay, for sooner or later it will be sacked, and all those who are its supporters will cover their faces in shame.
As Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and selected to serve in this exalted position out of over 200 million Nigerians. It's a challenge to serve in line with the oath I have taken today, a few minutes ago. I assure Nigerians I will do my best. I will not disappoint the President. I will not disappoint this country. I will not disappoint my party.
Greatness. The longer you live and the more you learn, the more clearly you will feel the difference between the few men who are thoroughly great and the mere virtuosi. I must deny myself the applause of the crowd. The point is not to take the world's opinion as a guiding star, but to go one's way in life and walk unerringly, neither depressed by failure nor seduced by applause. A true personality is like a robust organism that with unconscious sureness seeks out and digests its nourishment appropriate to it and vigorously rejects that which is unsuitable. You must renounce all superficiality, all convention, all vanity and delusion. Gustav Mahler. Nigeria should not only be regarded as the most populous black nation in the world, as well as the largest economy and democracy in Africa, but should also be viewed in terms of the quality of our characters, shaped by moral and religious beliefs. If Nigeria will be great not only by words, but by the quality of life and productivity, let this greatness begin from the kind of people we have as our leaders. These people are expected to be above board and should be people whose examples are worthy not only of following but emulating. This decision has to be made now by not allowing those who are opportunists and not different from those non-state actors who are referred to as armed robbers, bandits and terrorists to be in leadership positions. To have a new Nigeria of our dreams, the process through which our leaders emerge must be interrogated, for anyone who desires to occupy a position of an excellency must emerge through an excellent process. On a final note, our religious leaders are to share in the blame of where Nigeria is today, and the kind of leaders without integrity that we have, who are shamelessly occupying the position of power in the country. It is not an overstatement to say that every one single leader that we know today in a prominent position of power in Nigeria belongs to a religion. If this is true, what can we say of our religious leaders? For it is like fathers, like sons and daughters. The sufferings that Nigerians are going through inflicted upon them by their so-called leaders, God will avenge not only on the political leaders, but on the religious leaders as well, who are complicit and have failed in their God-given assignment because of the mundane things of life, money. God is no respecter of persons, and hence the chaotic situation of Nigeria, where the ungodly are in charge and the righteous have followers as servants. Now is not the time to cry to God without actions needed to turn around the country for the better. Let the religious leaders in Nigeria, both Christians and Muslims, return to God, fear Him, and influence the Nigerian judiciary, this one and last time, to do the right thing. The heavens will not fall if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sacked for illegality and criminality. Rather, there will be showers of rain, both the former and the latter rain on Nigerian, and we shall all be refreshed. It is instructive, as a wise priest admonishes, that remember that the real duties of religion are independent of human institutions, that the righteous heart is the true temple of Godhead, that in every land, in every set to love God above all things, and to love our neighbor as ourselves is the whole law. Remember, there is no religion which absolves us from our moral duties. That this alone is really essential, that the service of the heart is the first of these duties, and without faith there is no such thing as true virtue. We should not expect justice where might is right. There is a way that seems right unto man, but the end is the way of destruction. May our judicial officers not lead us as Nigerians this time in the way of destruction. Bear in mind also that whosoever leads any man or a nation into captivity will also go into captivity. Who knows whether it is because of a time like this in Nigeria that you have been appointed by God of truth and justice to the position you are occupying. May you not fail God and lose your colorful destiny. It is better for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to resign honorably than to be disgraced out of office. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you for watching.